One of the concepts that I really love to explore with my couples as a part of my relationship coaching program is the concept of the positive sentiment override and its corollary, the negative sentiment override. Many years ago, John Gottman and Bob Levinson, who were professors of the University of Washington, did about 4 decades of research on thousands of couples. And as they were doing this research in what they call the Love Lab, they noticed that while they were collecting data about physiological and emotional affect, uh, measuring heart rate, people's sweat glands, the amount of stress hormones they had in the urine. As they were examining and collecting all this data, they noticed that some couples tend to be more positive and had a positive outlook of their relationship and their interaction with their spouse. Others had a more negative outlook and experience with their interaction. And because of this observation and the data they were able to collect, they started to develop this concept of the positive and the negative sentiment override. Now, what exactly is it? Let me start with the positive sentiment override. For every one negative thing that occurs in a relationship between spouses, there has to be about 20 positive things. And these things could feature, such as your husband comes home from work and he's got you a bunch of flowers and he helps you by picking up the kids and uh, he's very nice to you, comes over, he gives you a big hug and a kiss and he greets you and tell you how wonderful and beautiful you are. All of these little things are positive actions and behaviors. Let's say you asked him to refill the fuel for the car because you've got a busy day at work and you're traveling across the country and you needed to leave early to beat the traffic. And he took the children to a music concert the night before. And so you went to bed early and woke up early to find that the car didn't have half the amount of fuel that you needed to get to your journey. You could respond to such a situation two ways. You could be very angry and upset that he just totally ignored you and he didn't respect you and he disregarded you. And this is something that he did all the time. And you're not surprised why why should he be so surprised? This is a regular occurrence. That attitude and that approach is brought about by a negative sentiment override. In a positive way, you could have said, do you know what? He did so much work yesterday with the children and with helping out in the home. I'm not surprised he was tired and I'm not surprised he forgot. And so you're looking at the same situation with different eyes. And so, what then? What can we do to resolve this idea of the negative sentiment override and replace it with positive ones? Well, we're gonna need to start appreciating our spouses a lot more. Just think about all the little things about them that we love and appreciate, or we value, and just acknowledge them and appreciate them. We will experience if a, a conflict scenario should occur, we will be able to use repair attempts more effectively. Whereas in a negative sentiment override, um, one of the suggestions I made about repair attempts is to inject a bit of humor into a conflict situation. That will work if you're in positive sentiment override, and it won't work if you're in negative sentiment override. Because if you attempt to say something funny, your spouse will see that as you trying to mock them or disrespect them or just making the situation worse. And so you have to have enough deposits into your spouse's emotional bank account for you to experience a high degree of positive sentiment override. In my research and my working with couples and my exploration of the topic of what really makes a relationship last and successful, I found that this concept of the Hesed mindset, Hesed is a Hebrew word. There's no immediate equivalent word that represents it in the English language, but it represents high sentiments of empathy and compassion towards yourself and empathy and compassion towards your spouse. If we're able to attain this viewpoint, this mindset, and use it to see ourselves and our spouse, this would become the ultimate positive sentiment override that we could ever have. And we will always be able to recover when mistakes happen in relationships and make repairs and retreat from a conflict situation and just maintaining a happy, successful relationship. I want to suggest that you try 5 activities today or this week that will allow you to make positive deposits in your spouse's emotional bank account. And if you do so, I assure you that they will have more patience and they'll be quick to forgive when you make a mistake and you need to make a deposit. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in any of what I've said, or you're touched by anything what I've said, or you want to have a one-on-one conversation, my website link is in the box below. Please go ahead and make an appointment, and I look forward to having a chat with you. Have a great day.